How's it going, everyone? Today, in this episode, we're gonna open up our amplifier and our power supply and check them out and make sure everything's okay on them. The rust on the top of this, I am willing to bet, is vermin urine. There was probably a big old nest sitting on top of this, and before they put this on for sale, they just, pulled them out, and that's why we found a little bit of insulation kind of up in there a little bit, and all that insulation that was in the coin basket. So I'm kind of figuring that's what that is. That's why I want to open these up and make sure it didn't run down in here and get down in our circuit board and all that, and that way I can get it. If it did, I can get it cleaned up. If not, at least I want to clean up this cover a little bit here, so we don't have a bunch of rust, falling down inside of it. But before we do that, we need to get these two screws out there and there, and then this whole cover will open up. Now on this amplifier, here's where the remote volume control plugs in. This is the internal, plugs in, and then you have your volume control right there on the back. And this will be the heat sink for the channels. So that's where that plugs in. We got our fuses. Let's see, that one looks good. I mean, we'll test them. Might as well leave them out. No, I don't want to leave them out. I'll probably, when I go to clean that top, I don't want to get a bunch of rust down inside there. And that one looks good too. But, just looking at them doesn't tell you for sure if they're any good. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the top of this off really good before we even attempt to get those old rusted screws out of there. Because once we open this up, I don't want more rust and that falling down inside there. But on your amplifier, you have your bass switches left and right. Left and right. You have your bass. One side treble. And you have max, medium, minimum for both channels. Scratch filter, which will kind of eliminate some of scratches on your record if you're as you're playing. You have your record equalization, which is on standard. I don't know what the EUR stands for. Europe. Okay. Stereo or mono, of course it's on stereo. Your pickup, here's where our needle goes. There's our speakers. Speaker terminal strip, that's the one that goes to the back. That one where you can hook up external speakers. And then your power input from power supply. And your microphone. Don't ask me on that one. I don't know why you'd have a microphone. Oh, that's nice. I don't know why you'd have a microphone jack on it, but who knows? I'm sure somebody will tell me. Here's your channel balance. You can stick a small screwdriver down in there and adjust the balance from one side, to the other. If it's off on one side a little too much, you can adjust your balance. Then we have input gain adjustment, right and left. If one side sounds a little weird or whatever, you can adjust the gain to kind of clear things up on them through the speakers. But that's everything on our amplifier. Well, you have your light on, speaker overload. If your light comes on, you're overloading your speakers. Kind of like overloading something else. So let me get this cleaned up, and then we'll get this cracked open and take a peek inside and see what it looks like. Okay, got her cleaned up. Decent anyway. I probably clean this whole top and probably put some Rust-Oleum or something on it. If you notice any difference in video quality, it's because I got my old camera out. My good camera, the battery went dead just at the end of that last little segment I was doing. So I got that cleaned up enough, so we'll probably dump some rust down inside through here. If you didn't know that urine is very corrosive, even human urine is very corrosive because of the salt in it. This actually had scale on it, and I'm surprised I didn't go all the way down through. You can see it. It's really pitted bad. And like I said, I'll probably brush on some paint or some Rust-Oleum or something on top of here just to get that covered up and protect, what's left up here on it. I'll get you set up and we'll crack this thing open together. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we have one screw here and one screw over here that we need to take out. This is the one that looks, doesn't look as bad as the other one. See, that one comes right out. Nice and easy. And this one, see if we get lucky again. Nope. And I don't want to strip that head off, because then we'd have a hell of a time. We didn't have to beat that thing up too bad to get it out, did we? Pretty standard, so that'll be easy. Alright, now that we spent half of our evening trying to get a screw out, now let's see if we can get it open. And there we are. And we are in luck. A little dirty, but looks like we might had a little bit come down in, but nothing too terrible. There's our channels, right and left. And you can see that none of these caps have been ever changed. Won't be too bad to pull it back apart to change them if we have to. But right now we just want to make sure everything is okay to plug it in. We don't want to be frying something that wouldn't if we would have checked things over. All of our fuses, I'll test all the fuses anyway. Let me get you spun around here a little bit. Put that on ohms. And we want to touch the fuse in here. And she's singing, she's okay. Next one, she's singing, she's okay. Next one, she's singing, she's okay. And the bottom one, she's singing. So at least our fuses are good. And what I'll do is I'll take the blowgun and I'll blow any of this. There's a little bit of rust laying down in there and some stuff laying on a few things in there. I'll go ahead and blow that all out. And then we can put it back. We can screw her back together and have it ready to be put back in. That's where our big MOSFETs should be. Come on up out of there. Yeah, there. Everything looks good. Nothing scary, anyway. Put our protective cardboard back in there. There and there. Clip him back in. Okay, I'll blow this out and get it screwed back together, and then we'll be ready to take a look at our power supply. Okay, just went ahead and replaced both of them, so now it looks the same anyway. And like I said, we'll have to do something up top there. We'll see. Okay, now we got our power supply. See, somebody's already took one of them out and has been in here. And with the motor, that one motor being laying in there and wires bugged together on it, now I'm starting to wonder if we have a problem in here. Ah. set up there so you can see. Yeah, well, I don't see anything that looks ugly. I mean, for black, well, 110. Let's see, main bus lugs. Here we are, yeah. Blue. This is our jumper for 120, which is number 3 pin, number 2 pin with a blue wire. And you can see that's what jumper is in there. You can change this to the 100 volts, which would have been a black, or you can do it yourself, whatever. 3-in-1 is a jumper. 220 is on the bottom, which would be 6-in-4, and 240 would be 6-in-5. That's for different, for like Europe. Europe and other countries have different voltages than we do, and different plugs, which we have to change this plug, this cord on this thing, because it's pretty nasty. So first, what we're going to do, let me get you zoomed back out and get rid of that little thing, is we're going to test our fuses in here and make sure they're good. I'll leave that paper inside. Okay, that one's good. That's interesting. And that one's good. Dead as a doornail. So we got one blown fuse. And what is it? It's a 2-amp slow blow. Okay, let me find my fuses and I'll see if I have a 2-amp slow blow. Okay, here's something interesting. And I doubt if you'll be able to read this, but the fuse that's blown, see right here, it says 2-amp slow blow. And what was in there is a 1-amp slow blow. I doubt if my camera will focus on something that. And there it is, 1-amp slow blow. So that's kind of interesting. And we have some 2-amp slow blows here that we're going to put in. So either somebody didn't have a 2, or they were reading under it, which is a 1-amp slow blow. And just for GP, we will pull that. And man, that one, here it is. Yeah, that's a 1-amp. Okay, I was just curious to see if somebody had them in the wrong places, but that is a 1-amp. Okay. So that may be what a problem was to begin with for them. But you know, this has been sitting for quite a while. Somebody worked on this and then gave up on it. And we're not going to do that. This I'm going to leave right inside the power supply in case somebody else needs it. Let's see, I need to take this apart and check and look at changing that cord out. Everything else, I got you zoomed in too much. We have there we have another fuse right here that we need to test, and that's a 0.8 slow blow. I hope that one's good because I know I don't have no 0.8. So let's pray. Yeah, that one is good. I don't know if you've seen that here. I'll put you up on there. You can see, whoop, you can see that fuse is good. And everything else looks okay. There's another fuse on here that we can take a look at too when we put that panel back down on there. Alright, now we're ready. Okay, that all looks pretty good. That cord, let's see actually where this cord is bad. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have to put a cord on this before I couldn't. We can't even use the old cord to see if we can get it to fire up. We're gonna have to put a new cord on it. Okay, we got our brand new power cord put on here. Running up to our power switch. Got that all done. And last night when I went in, I got to thinking that our 2 amp fuse was blown, and I was curious as to what that 2 amp fuse runs. And hope this all turns out okay, because some dipshit forgot to take his battery in last night for his other camera and charge it. So I'm still on the one that doesn't focus too good all the time, and now this battery is flashing. So give me a minute and this one I have extra batteries for. I'll change that battery. Okay, alright, now as I was saying, I was wondering what our 2 amp slow blow fuse runs. So when I got home today, I broke out the schematic here, and this is our power supply assembly. And let's see, there's the 1 amp, and right below it, and right there, the F102 is our 2 amp slow blow. The power comes in off the transformer into this rectifier and then goes through our fuse. And after our fuse, it comes over into our pin 3 on our 6 circuit socket. So pin 3 is our red and green, which is coming off of our fuse, which is red and green. Comes up here to pin 3 on the, this is part of the mechanism. Let's see, as you can see, pin 3 comes up, there's our red and green. Runs up to number 1 pin. 1 pin plugs into our turntable, and it runs our turntable motor. You can see pin 1 runs over, comes down, runs our motor. This is our turntable motor. Also, let me see if I can get us over here. This is our, this is the motors for our mechanism. And as you can see on pin 9, here's our orange and green coming in here. And it goes to both of our, nope, comes over, comes down to a relay, which is for our tone arm. And that is it. Has nothing to do with our motors that run our mechanism. Those are the white and red and white ones, which, let's see, white and red and white. That's red and blue, yellow. Let's see. Yellow, black, black and white, and that is, comes off of there, which is for our motor, is red and white, white or red and white, which comes off of our Mech Power PC board. That's what's going to run our motors. So that fuse that was blown is for our turntable motor. So if we have a problem with our turntable motor where it doesn't come on, then we know we have a problem with in this area right here, which could be this bridge rectifier right here, which is nothing but a bunch of diodes. So that's what I come up with there, and that, like I said, that was just kind of, I was wondering why that one was blown. Okay, so now all I have to do is get this all buttoned back up, and we'll be ready to put that in. And then we can move on to our door panel, the one where that wire is broke off. So let me get this put together, and this will be ready. Okay, you can see I laid this down on its back so I could work on them casters to see which one I think all it needs is just some oil on them. I don't know if the bearings are gone out of them or what. We'll see. But anyway, as you can see, the bottom was covered with mold as well. And I just sprayed the hell out of it with bleach. And I'll let that sit overnight, and then I'll clean that all up. But life of when you find stuff buried in a barn, who the hell knows where this has been. Should fix that while it's on its back too. But that side, now see, this side has a protective metal piece on it, and this side probably used to, and it probably, yeah. Oh well. We'll see what we can do. It's not one thing, it's another. Alright, now I got all the mold cleaned up and killed down inside the cabinet. That was one thing I definitely wanted to get cleaned up. So you can see it all come out really well. And Let's see, before I get into putting the guts back in this, I want to clean a little part of this and see how it's going to turn out before we get too carried away. I've been kind of kicking around, maybe taking these panels, these sides off and painting them. I really don't want to, but if they clean up really good, I'm not going to worry about it. But if they're not going to clean up, then I think we'll have to do something different. I hate painting them. I mean, this is plastic, or some sort of plastic. It's not wood or anything. No. So let me grab the tripod. I'll get you set up, and we'll clean this corner up here and see what it's going to look like. Okay, I'm going to use the hand cleaner on it. Okay, what do you think? We cleaned that. And we didn't clean that. I do believe we're just going to clean it. Yep. See how filthy it is, but I think it's going to clean up good. I think we're just going to clean it. We're not going to worry too much about painting it. Like I said, this isn't going to be a showpiece. This is just going to be a good jukebox for somebody. Okay, folks, we got our power supply ready to go in. New cord, changed the fuse, checked everything, looks all good. We went over our amplifier. Everything looks good in it. Cleaned it up a little bit on top. Let's see, we got the Mac all done. There's the Mac all ready to go in. All cleaned, oiled, lubed, and bagged and tagged and ready to go in. We got all the mold cleaned up. I got the inside all cleaned up. So everything's ready to go back in here. And in the next episode, we'll start reassembling this and see if we can get this thing to fire up and see if it's going to work before we do any cosmetics on it. Next episode, we'll get the speakers all cleaned up. Get the mold cleaned off of those. And I'm not going to do anything with our little control panel here yet until we find out if everything works. Because we got to tear the push button thing down, panel, and clean those buttons up and repaint them. But we'll put that on just to make sure everything works. And then we can take it off. That's easy to take off. So yeah. So if you like this episode, like the video, hit the like button. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. So until next time, see ya.